in Seattle, Tacoma, 106.9 FM HD Channel 2, and we just went off. So they don't call it the 10 in boat racing. They call it the 5 to the 5.
That's right.
So in 5 minutes, we're going to toss it off to our play-by-play announcers, Kay Brewer and Brad Luce, for the call of 3A. But until then, we can talk about how exciting this has been. And it's going to get more exciting because these guys sometimes in preliminary heats, yesterday and this morning's heats, are testing their boat and making sure, you know, and kind of testing the competition and seeing how hard they have to run and who's fighting really hard to get an inside lane and who's decided they're going to take it easy. Well, now it gets just like anybody who's competitive. You can't hold yourself back. Yep. So yet in this heat, 3A, maybe Andrew Tate could hold himself back, but being a competitor, I kind of doubt he will, because he's up against Jimmy Shane, J. Michael Kelly, and Tom Thompson. So those 4 drivers, and they're driving the Les Schwab, the Home Street, the Graham Trucking, and the J&Ds. They all want to win for different reasons or race hard for different reasons. And like I said, Andrew Tate, he's leading. You know, he's got a lot of points. So does Jimmy Shane. But up against each other, they want to get national points for the whole year. And the racing is halfway done today with the season. This is the halfway point.
Right. But what would you do as Jimmy Shane then? What do you think is going through his head in terms of the boat, because it's been performing excellent?
Yeah.
He definitely doesn't want to damage anything at this point.
No.
He's most likely going to be in the final without a damage or something like that. What do you think is going through his mind?
Well, he doesn't want to take any chances with the boat, you're right, but he does want to test his mettle against Andrew Tate and see how if he can maybe win on the outside, because he's going to need to know that in the final heat, and this is his only chance that they've gone up against each other here at Seafair. They didn't meet each other in Heat 1 or Heat 2, so here we are in 3A. They are going to be side to side, and so the 5 minutes beforehand, he may change his mind deciding on how hard Andrew Tate presses the matter, and not to mention J. Michael Kelly, who is going to be pressing harder than either of those two, probably for the inside lane. But like you said, they want to both Jimmy Shane and Andrew Tate want to know how the other guy is really thinking and working toward the final. So they want to keep an eye on each other, and a lot of that is going to depend. So I can't tell you right now what his motive and his ideas are, because it may change during the 5-minute gun, and depending on what his spotter also tells him, saying, let him go, or you got a chance to get in there, and so he may go for it.
That's an excellent point. You forget about that the spotters are there, they're relaying, they're communicating, they're letting them know their position on the field with relation to the starting point, and of course during the race. So things can change midstream, so to speak.
Yeah, and also anything can happen during this score-up period. People can get penalties for going under 80 miles an hour. You can get penalized. You can get a warning. You get a warning or two. Or if you go through an illegal place where one of the patrol boats is, because they have areas that are like DMZs. You may not drive here, period, in to report for no reason, for the safety of the patrol and referee boats out there. And cutting somebody off can happen. So before the race even starts, a penalty may happen, and that does sometimes happen in boat racing, and that lets a competitor know, hey, the so-and-so is out of it. Take your time. Take it easy.
Right. Correct. And, I don't know if this means much, but it looks like some of the umbrellas now are coming away from the cockpits. That's how they keep the drivers kind of cool on a sunny day like this, and probably helps with the glare, too. And they're basically doing the final straps into the cockpit, and then we'll lower the canopy. And once that happens, I'm sure they'll fire up and get out there.
Yeah, and we are now within 1 minute here of the 5-minute gun. And so pretty soon we're going to hand it off to Brad Luce and Kay Brewer to give us the actual call of the race. And pay attention, folks, as they talk about this scoring up this 5-minute period before the flag actually drops, the countdown of the clock. It is a real fight, and that is part of the race before the race. Sometimes it can be decided there, and sometimes somebody's way out of shape, and they're just at the wrong end of the course because they got either tricked or duped by somebody, or somebody cut somebody off and said, I'm cutting across the course here, or somebody put somebody on the outside of their hip. But that's coming up in just a couple of seconds. Last thoughts on 3A? You want to pick a winner or anything, Eric? It's kind of.
I think the story here is going to be J. Michael Kelly. I'm really going to be watching that particular boat.
Yeah, I am going to watch that too. So we're at the 5-minute gun. We're going to hand it off to our play-by-play for Brad Luce and Kay Brewer.
Your 5-minute gun, and it is now time to go boat racing. Here's what you'll be seeing in Heat 3A, presented by Seafair and Graham Trucking. In the bright blue Home Street boat, Jimmy Shane. In the white boat of number 9, Les Schwab Tires, Andrew Tate. In that bright yellow boat, Tom Thompson, the 11 Reliable Diamond Tool, and J&D's. And in the red boat, desperately needing points, J. Michael Kelly. In the number 12, Seafair thanks Albert Lee Appliance, proud sponsor of Albert Lee Appliance Seafair Cup. This start of Heat 3A is just a few minutes away. Seafair reminds you that for the safety of you and the ones around you, everyone must be out of the water when the hydros are on the Ted Jones racecourse. Now, it's time to get out on the water and enjoy the world's fastest race boats. Heat 3A, presented by Seafair and Graham Trucking. Let's get rolling with these boats, Brad.
Thank you very much, Kay Brewer. 3 minutes and 35 seconds to the start. Now 3:30. Our 4 boats who are trying to answer the bell here all answered it immediately. The first boat away from the dock was Tom Thompson, and the U11 Reliable Diamond Tool presents J&D's. He was followed almost immediately by J. Michael Kelly, and then Andrew Tate in the Les Schwab Tire, and Jimmy Shane and the Miss Home Street came out 3 and 4 and almost side by side. Now, as they come down to the lower corner here with still 3 minutes before the start, I was going to say Kelly's in lane 1, but there goes Tate, going to jump over to the backstretch. When Kelly comes out of the corner, Tom Anderson, his crew chief, will tell him that's Andrew Tate you see right in front of you. Meanwhile, Jimmy Shane staying out of the fray a little bit, Kay. He's coming down here nice and slow on the front chute.
Each driver comes out onto the water with a game plan. Jimmy Shane is going to take her slow, coming around into turn number 1. As you saw, Andrew Tate went inside of the course, and we are going to have a battle looking like Tom Thompson's going to try and come around Andrew Tate and possibly try and take back that lane number 1. But we're going to have to see. We still have just over 2 minutes and 25 seconds to the start of Heat 3A, Brad.
Yeah, up the backstretch there, Andrew Tate cut the course and came to the front stretch, and Tom Thompson came with him. Now Tate cuts it again and goes from front to the backstretch. Tom Thompson goes with him again. Kelly went all the way up to the top end of the course. Now Tate is on the backstretch, and his crew chief is telling him that rooster tail you see right in front of you, that is Jimmy Shane. Now, this time, it's Kelly coming down here all by himself. He'll drop the hook. He will go over to the backstretch with 150 until the start. This is going to be Tom Thompson is going to come across here, and he's going to put himself in lane number 1. And I think his timing will be okay. And Kelly, I don't think he can get over here fast enough. Now, he's got to be really careful here. J. Michael Kelly's got to be careful. And he slides through, but that was a good maneuver. And I'll tell you what, he is outside Tom Thompson, but he's inside Jimmy Shane, and on the far outside, Andrew Tate.
But J. Michael Kelly might have put his own fire out by going through the rooster tail of Tom Thompson. His game plan has completely changed now because the rest of the fleet is taking off for the start. J. Michael Kelly is still back on turn number 2, way back.
Here comes Kelly. He's back up and running now, but he's lost that position he had on the race course. So J. Michael Kelly, who desperately needs points here, he's okay time-wise, but he hasn't got a lane. He's going to have to run these guys down on the far outside. That made a tall order even taller. 45 seconds until the start. It is Tom Thompson, however, Kay, he is in lane 1, Shane's in 2, Tate's in 3. Kelly's going to go on the outside, take him up to the top end of the course.
You just said that J. Michael Kelly's got a tall order B, but look what he's doing. He may be trying to do a slingshot, but another thing about J. Michael Kelly, that boat is fast and that driver is smart. He has something up his sleeve, because check out what he's doing. Full speed already, J. Michael Kelly, while the rest of the fleet is still lower in speed. J. Michael Kelly doing a slingshot maneuver, just as I called it.
We are inside 10 seconds. We are coming down to our start. We are 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark, and we'll find out if the start is legal. It looked like it was close. It's going to be Shane and JMK going to get down here first. Kelly's down here first, but he's on the far outside with a big course, Kay.
And it looks like Andrew Tate stuck straight in the middle. All he can see is water on the left, water on the right. And it looks to be like Jimmy Shane is taking over the lead, but we have got a 3-boat race chasing down the home street. They are burning up engines and burning up gearboxes trying to chase down the home street, Brad.
Top end of the course up here as they go, and it is a good start. It was a legal start. Shane with about 4 boat lengths on Tate, and then right outside of Tate is JMK. Keep an eye on Tom Thompson. He's got the shortest way around the race course. There's Tate. There's Kelly. Oh, this is a good one. Shane showing us that new boat's got a lot of boat speed, but we got him coming 4 wide down here. Shane opened up a rooster tail now, but look at Kelly. He is hanging with Tate, albeit on the outside. Kelly desperately needs those second place points, Kay.
But Andrew Tate, he is taking over lane number 3, and he's shoving J. Michael Kelly way wide and giving Tom Thompson the inside advantage. Cleanest water, fastest way around the course. Andrew Tate is now punching it into high gear, going after Jimmy Shane, because these two, like we've been talking about, are battling it out for points, and J. Michael Kelly is dropping back quickly.
Yeah, the best friend that on the race course for Tom Thompson right now is Andrew Tate, because you're exactly right. He is shoving JMK way out. I think he's probably given up trying to run down Jimmy Shane, and so Tate knows he can eliminate J. Michael Kelly from the Albert Lee Appliance Cup at Seafair by keeping him in 4th place, and right now he's off the pace. But look at Tom Thompson. Tate might have been a little bit too concerned with Kelly. Thompson has got lane position and a strong set of speed coming down to the lower corner against Tate.
And they are dancing their way through that turn number 2, because these two boats, Tom Thompson and Andrew Tate, are battling it out for the 2nd place position. This is huge points, and it looks like Andrew Tate is dropping back, and we almost just lost Tom Thompson in the backstretch. He floated that thing way too high, Brad.
How Tom brought that boat back down. You don't see a boat get up that high very often and come back down. Now we have the same situation we had before, and now the best friend of Tom Thompson is Jimmy Shane, because he's making Tate run a bigger race course. And believe me, his crew is telling him what's going on. They're telling him push Tate out wide, because there's a good chance that Thompson can hang on here. But Tate driving the daylights out of the Les Schwab. He pulls dead even with the Thompson at the entrance pit of the corner. This is lap number 3.
And that was a checkered flag, and they have rocked this heat. Your winner, Home Street, in the bright blue number 1. But that was a photo finish between Tom Thompson and Andrew Tate. That was an amazing heat. I have goosebumps from that, Brad.
Well, we proved yesterday I can't count down. We've apparently proved today I can't count up. Maybe it was just wishful thinking. I didn't want that one to come to an end, but our unofficial order of finish is U1, Jimmy Shane driving the Miss Home Street, 2nd place to the U11. Reliable Diamond Tool presents J&Ds with Tom Thompson. He held off Andrew Tate and the Les Schwab Tires, the U9, who comes in 3rd, and 4th place to our boat coming back to the pit area right now, the U12, Graham Trucking and J. Michael Kelly.
Well, Brad, I will tell you that that was such an exciting heat that you wanted it to go 1 extra lap. That's what it was. But all of the years of me racing hydroplanes, my father always tells me, watch the flags, and that is what I did. I watched the checkered flag, and that thing was moving for Jimmy Shane in that brand new Home Street boat. You know, it was a tough break for J. Michael Kelly in the Graham Trucking, but we still have one more heat to go, so things could still be changing up with points, but we'll have to wait and see. So don't go too far, because we still have one more, another exciting heat, which will be Heat 3B, coming up here shortly. Until then, we're going to bring in that Jimmy Shane in the Home Street boat, and we're going to maybe we'll have to get him up here to talk about that heat.
So a very exciting Heat 3A. We said it would not disappoint. It did not. And boy, the hand that was dealt to J. Michael Kelly in that heat was made much more difficult. He had to go for it. We said he had to go for broke. It was his final heat. He had to make that maneuver to try and jump to an inside lane. He had to take that chance. Unfortunately, he got the lane, but he put the candle out, which pushed him outside into lane 4, and I don't really care what boat you've got. And he was on the button. He was the first boat down here to the entrance pin of the corner, but being outside in lane 4 against that competition, I don't see that happening. That was too tall, even for JMK and that U12.
It was, but we saw it on the backstretch of the very last lap. We almost watched Tom Thompson go end over end. That shows you how much Tom Thompson was pushing that reliable Diamond Tool and J&D's boat all the way to the max to try and overtake Andrew Tate. Unfortunately, probably only missed that second place position by at least inches. That was a great finish.
Yeah, you'll find if you watch each.
And wow, thank you, Brad Luce and Kay Brewer, for the call of Heat 3A. Very exciting. Yeah, Jimmy Shane in the Home Street is your winner. Of course, unofficial here for a while. Andrew Tate in the Les Schwab, second place. Tom Thompson in the J&D's Hydraulics, third place, and J. Michael Kelly, unfortunately, in the Graham Trucking, got fourth. He did take quite a risk in trying to get lane 1, and his move looked like he then realized he's going to have to take lane 2, and the way to get to lane 2 was to drive through the rooster tail of J&D's Hydraulics, driven by Tom Thompson, and the rooster tail was still pretty full and pretty wet, and it put out the turbine engine on the Graham Trucking, and by the time he got it restarted, the rest of the field was up at the on the back straight, approaching the north turn, and he had no choice except to take lane 4, and even though he did get a fantastic start from lane 4, there was no way he was going to actually win from lane 4 against the speed that comes out of the Home Street boat and the Les Schwab boat. Quite an exciting race, and J. Michael Kelly, unfortunately, has not had the weekend that the Graham Trucking boat and he usually can show at either Seafair or any kind of boat racing. And my partner, broadcast partner, Eric Crema, has worked his way down to the north end of the Stan Sayers pits, trying to look for Jimmy Shane. We're going to get a...
I am down here with Jimmy Shane. Congratulations on an awesome race.
Thank you so much. What can you say? 3 for 3 with the new boat. The thing is running fantastic. So that was a good gauge for us in the final heat. We need to. Now we know what we need to do, making some changes and looking forward to a good final heat.
Well, I know a lot of the people up at the media booth and a lot of people on the shore here was really anticipating this as sort of a prelude to the final. Great boats in this, a lot of strong contenders. What were some of your thoughts as you were parading around trying to find your position? You ended up in lane 2.
Yeah, like I say, it was a good gauge to see what some people's strategies were going to be for the final heat, because that kind of was a final heat there. And now we can take all of our notes, we can take what happened in that heat, and we can formulate our final plan for the final heat later today.
Without letting out any secrets, did you learn anything new on this race with this brand new boat?
Yes. The boat carries over the rough water better than any boat I've ever driven, and that is exactly what you need to do, especially in the final heat, because it's going to be a 5-lapper. The water is going to get super, super choppy, and I can't wait to fly this boat over the rough water.
Well, Home Street Bank and yourself, a great representative of this race of H1 Hydros. Congratulations on this, we'll see if we talk to you here soon.
Thank you.
Take care.
Hey, Eric, he's pretty happy about the boat ride there.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, Jimmy Shane, winner of Heat 3A. And, wow, pretty impressive. And I liked what he said about the boat. That,
yeah.
I mean, and he's got some veteran years under him. That this is the best boat he's driven in rough water. And wow, that's because the final, if everyone knows boat racing here in Seattle, is very rough. It's the end of the day. The wind is up a little bit. There's an extra 2 boats out there. The log booms are packed with extra boats. So wow,
and you're getting those rollers, and it's, yeah, as you say, very choppy out there. But it was amazing as I was talking to him, just the level of confidence he has. He's just the calmness. You could just see it. Of course, if I had ever gone 200 miles an hour in a boat, I'd be a wreck. But,
yeah.
But you know, he's a professional. But even so, you can just sense that he's extremely pleased with this boat. And as he said, 3 for 3. That ain't bad.
Yeah, and we are just 3 minutes away from the next 5-minute gun. And so we barely have time to catch our breath as hydroplane fans, because the other boats for the Heat 3B are in the water, and they're going to put it all out too, because these boats are just as competitive with each other. Let me give you the rundown here for Heat 3B. It's going to be hard for me to shake 3A out of my mind here, but because that was so exciting for all 3 laps. But let me go here. We got 3B. We're going to see the Alberto Beef Jerky driven by Cal Phipps. We're going to see the Car Stars Powers Miss Rock driven by Aaron Salmon. We're going to see the Payne West Insurance driven by Brian Perkins, and Bucket List Racing Snooze Katoosh driven by Dustin Eccles. Those 4 boats are going to show up here in about, let me see here, I'd say less than 2 minutes before those guys fire up their engines and head out onto the Ted Jones race course.
I wondered which one of us was going to be the first.
Uh-oh. I think we just lost a...
I was going to say, I was wondering who was going to be the first to attempt that snooze katoosh.
Yeah.
You did a great job.
Oh, thanks. I don't get to say snooze katoosh on the radio very often.
I was kind of wandering around looking for Andrew Tate. I was hoping to get his thoughts on that as well.
Well, you know, I don't think we're going to have time for an interview, because we're going to have to go to the 5-minute gun. Is coming up pretty soon, in about 1.5 minutes. And the other... I'd be curious to hear what J. Michael Kelly has to say about that.
Yeah.
That move. He wanted to go from Heat he wanted to get lane 1, and he realized Thompson was there. He wanted lane 2, and he put out his own fire. And so that was...
I can wander over there.
Well, we only have 1 minute here to get... Yeah, so we won't... But maybe we'll read that one in the paper tomorrow, because he took a chance, and the chance didn't pay off. And that's sometimes what sports is all about, is taking a risk.
Well, I think he's shown a couple of moves today like that, where he's sort of reinventing how you get to the starting line.
Yeah. Well, let me just take a moment here before I toss it to our play-by-play for Heat 3B, just to thank Beacon Plumbing for bringing us this race today. We are enjoying live coverage of the Albert Lee Appliance Cup at Seafair on AM 880 KIXA. We are powered today by Beacon Plumbing. Whatever the problem, however late the problem, or wherever you are, they have teams of experts servicing the entire Puget Sound with 24/7 emergency services. So stop freaking, call Beacon, and we will toss it to our play-by-play here when our 5-minute gun fires off here in just a few moments. With the call of Heat 3B is going to be Brad Luce and Kay Brewer. So hang on for 3B.
Here is who will be racing Heat 3B, presented by Seafair and Graham Trucking. In the Payne West is going to be Brian Perkins in the 21. In the 99.9 Car Star KISW, Miss Rock is driven by our rookie Aaron Salmon. And in the 1918 Alberto Cal Phipps. But what we're hearing is the 440 bucket list may or may not make it out. So we'll be looking to see if that Brian bright orange, Bucket List Racing makes it out with Dustin Eccles behind the wheel. Brad Luce, let's bring him around the course and show him what's going on.
3 minutes and 50 seconds to the start. 4 boats hoping to answer the bell, but it appears now the U440 Bucket List Racing with Dustin Eccles is indeed not going to answer the call. Aaron Salmon is, however, and he's not late to the party, but he cannot come out of the pit area from the west side and come out hard because he's got to turn to the right. So as we've seen all the years in the past, these turbine hydroplanes, when they come out of the pit area on the west side, they come out slowly, turn to the right, and then they can get on it and snap it up on a plane. We had one of our boats cut the race course. I believe that was Calvin.
And look at that beautiful
there's
paint
Calvin
job.
there,
They just got that paint job put on last weekend for the Alberto. It is the 100-year anniversary, and she is shining.
This might be a very interesting heat here between Brian Perkins and Cal Phipps. A couple of boats that were very close on the qualifying ladder. A couple of boats that have been very even all day long. I know there's been a lot of conversation between those two teams, and I think there's been some gamesmanship between the two of them about, no, you can beat us on the inside or you can beat us on the outside. Well, we're going to find out right now. Perkins, a very accomplished driver here as he comes down to the lower end of the course with 2:30 on the clock. Here comes Aaron Salmon. He's going to come down too. How aggressive do you want to get, Cal? You want to run across the race course? I think he's too late to go across and get in front of Mr. Perkins. He's going to go across, but as we just spoke of, he's too late to get in front of... Careful.
Yeah.
Careful. We had that little incident down in Gunnersville, and it didn't end well.
No, it did not. It was, they had some boat damage, but they fixed it and brought it back out here. And we are here at the 2018 Seafair. Albert Lee, we are on the last preliminary heat. This is where it all comes down to till we get to the final, Brad. And look at these boats all getting side by side. In the back, it looks like we've got some game plans going on. They are side by side. And look who your leader is coming down the front stretch.
Yeah, it's very interesting what's going on behind him right now because Perkins has got himself on the inside. Cal is trying to make sure he's got room in two. And is Salmon going to run on the outside, or is he going to move? Oh, he's going to... if he moves to the left, he could conceivably move Calvin to the outside. We'll have to watch as they go through. We're still early here with 1:20 until the start, and Cal just went to the outside. I think he'll go deep in the corner just to scruff off some time here because we still have 1:10 seconds. 1:10 until the start.
And you said that they were a little bit early, so you see Perkins slowing down just a little bit, but these drivers must keep their boats at 80 miles per hour or higher.
1 minute. So these guys are really early going up the backstretch here. I like where Brian Perkins is. Now he's trailing the boat so the other two boats can move to the inside, but if they get a warning from the officials to pick up their speed, they may have to go wide at the top end of the course just to drive and cover more territory and eat up some more time. Still 35 seconds. You do not want to be at that entrance buoy before 20 seconds, and right now they are at 28 seconds and they are there.
And you're going to see there's a yellow helicopter that is above turn number 2. They are looking down onto these boats and watching that beacon, and they are counting the seconds down. But as I say that, the rooster tails are coming up. Drivers are making their way down to the start-finish line. Bradley, bring them across the start-finish line.
10 seconds. They've got them lined up. We're inside 10 now. We're coming down to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark, and we are racing here in Heat 3B presented by Graham Trucking, and they are coming down 3 wide, and Aaron Salmon on the outside is going to get down here with Cal Phipps, but watch Brian Perkins. He's been in lane 1 all weekend, Kay.
And they are still side by side, and they are within feet of each other, but check out that Alberto shining brightly, taking over the lead over Brian Perkins, and we're finding out it was a good start, Brad Luce.
It is a good start at the three-quarter mark of the backstretch. It is Cal Phipps on the outside. Got 3, maybe 4 boat links on Perkins. Now watch Perkins. See if he can gobble him up on that inside track. Watch Perkins. He's been painting the buoys. Look at Phipps. Hold him in tight. That's what you're supposed to do. Great corner up there for Cal Phipps. Don't give him any more room than you have to. Make Perkins scruff off enough speed that he can't run hard through that corner. But it's still a very good race. And it is Cal Phipps coming down. He's got the lead. Got about 5 boat lengths as we start lap number 2.
Yes.
Perkins still on the inside.
But he must have 7 boat lengths in front of him before Cal can come over and take over lane 1. Brian Perkins keeps his nose in there. He's not going to give up lane 1 very easy. As they come down the backstretch, they're giving the log boom a show without Alberto, though, trailing shortly behind. But I think he's got his 7 boat lengths. Brad Luce, we're going to have to see if he takes over lane number 1 going into turn 2.
I don't think he's going to do it. I think he's going to leave Brian a lane. Right now, with the way this heat is playing out, there's no reason for him to take a chance with the referee. And Perkins just went to the outside, but it had nothing to do, from my way of seeing it, had nothing to do with Cal Phipps. He had left him a lane in there. White flag flies, 1 to go, and it is all Cal Phipps now because Perkins couldn't hold the inside line at the top end of the race course. Radio man to Cal Phipps says, you got it, just bring the boat home and do it in one piece, Kate.
That would be his owner of that boat that's talking to Cal Phipps. That would be Charlie Wiggins telling that Alberto driver of Cal Phipps, you've got it easy, take it easy, because Brian Perkins is at least 10 to 15 boats behind you. Let's ride it all the way to the checkered flag. A half a lap to go. Your leader, Cal Phipps, in the Alberto, 1918.
Top end of the race course for the last time. Calvin Phipps going to get a heat victory here if he can just bring home the Alberto. He slides it out wide to about lane number 3. He will come down, look to his right. Checkered flag flies. Every driver in every type of motorsports drives to see that flag. First place finish here, Calvin Phipps driving the Alberto Beef Jerky. A great run for the young man. And here comes Perkins. He's going to come down. He will pick up second place and a solid 300 points there. I'll look at the board. I think he's got 3 second place finishes. And he comes down to the lower corner here and passes Cal. And a great run for Aaron Salmon driving the 99.9 CarStar powered Miss Rock. 3-started, 3-0 finish. Aaron Salmon picking up 225 points.
So we will have to add up all of our points between all of this weekend's preliminary heats to see who exactly will be in the final. Once again, the final for the H1 Unlimited's Graham Trucking will be at 5:30, so don't go far. And don't forget, we still have 3 more finals to work with today. We have the J-Stock Hydros getting ready to go out onto the water. We also have West Coast F1 racing, the tunnel boats that are going to be turning on a dime here shortly, going for the final checkered flag. And we've also got the ever loud and ever fun
3B for Cal Phipps in the Alberto Beef Jerky. Nice to see that boat get a heat victory here today, because they have had a 3rd place and a 4th place, and that gives them a 1st place victory. And they're certainly into the final with 834 points. And yeah, nice to see the Alberto, especially in this centennial year, the 100th anniversary of Alberto Sausage Company here. In 1918 they formed, and that's why they've got the number on the boat this year. It's the U1918 Alberto Beef Jerky, Cal Phipps driving. And Eric Crema is my broadcast partner. He's down on in the pit area and waiting to get to interview Cal Phipps. And it's nice to interview him, because we haven't got to talk to him because he had a 3rd place and a 4th place finish this week. And so a 1st place in a preliminary heat's got to make him feeling good for the final, because you got better and better as you progress through the weekend. It's nice to see. And he's probably got some extra salamis in that engine that powered him to that victory. The super salamis he snuck in there.
Well, he held something up. It looked like a dollar bill or something.
Yeah, he's got some Lucky Charm he's kissing or something. I can see him from down here doing something. It looks like he kissed something, like it's a good luck charm or something.
And obviously that's going to be one of my first questions is, first of all, how does it feel? 100 years, to be here at Seafair, to be representing Alberto Beef Jerky, and then to win this heat. and really put himself in a nice position for the final.
Yeah, and you know, I just saw that, I don't know if you could see him shake. Brian Perkins came off of his pier and went over to Cal Phipps and shook his hand, and I think it was like no hard feelings. Brian Perkins drove through Cal Phipps' rooster tail, and I don't think it was any infraction. I think it was just maybe the 21 boat of Brian Perkins couldn't hold that inside lane one more time like he has all weekend. So that was nice to see a competitor shake hands like that after a tightly fought battle.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm kind of unfortunately cutting out again a little bit here.
Well,
I don't know why. I can see the tower. This is a new position for me to be in. It's closer. It's closer to the tower.
Yeah.
And obviously this is the first race for Burbo Beef Jerky to win. So congratulations to the entire team. As I mentioned about an hour ago, when I was walking by, I saw that their right sponson had some work done on it. I want to ask about that. Enough to affect that race.
Yeah, and you are breaking up like you are right, but go ahead and keep going, because we'll expect it to hold just enough. We'll get most of what Cal wants to tell you, and see if you can jump in there now as I
I'm just trying to position myself. This is like the old days of cell phones, you know. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Well, don't fall off the pier into the water there, Eric.
Oh, this time I'm walking further away.
Oh, okay.
And away from these cranes. I do want to...
All right, the winner of Heat 3B was Cal Phipps. Eric Cream is going to try and get a word with him down there in the pits. And, yeah, he's got his points now to get into the final with 830-some.
Gary, we're back here, and I have the Oberto Beef Jerky boat driver, Cal Phipps. We're going to talk about how special is it, 100 years. You're here at Seafair, representing an awesome business and crew. Tell me how it felt to win that heat.
Well, we've had
Six votes for the final.
Oh, we're losing.
For 30 years, I never thought I'd wear the colors and the name Oberto on my back. So it's a great honor to be here at Seafair and the home.
Oh, boy, we lost him.
$2 bill just before this heat, and it'll stay in my driving. As long as they let me wear the Oberto driving suit, it'll be...
Now, hang on. We are breaking up just a little bit here. I'm going to position us over toward the crowd here just a little bit more, because I want people to hear that. Back to you, Gary, on this, because tell me again what you were kissing as you got out of the cockpit.
That was the Art Oberto $2 lucky bill that he personally handed me. So very, very happy to have it. Very happy to wear the Oberto name and represent the Oberto. Especially on the 100th anniversary. It's very special to me. It's very special to our entire team. Our team's worked very hard. And to get this win going into the final, in front of all the fans, everybody's wishing me good luck. We got them a win.
Well, you're definitely a fan favorite. People love to eat all the good treats. Just so the colors of your boat are fantastic to see out there. You can spot it anywhere on the course, especially with the new color scheme. Fantastic, by the way. I did notice a little earlier there was some damage on the right sponson that had been patched. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's rough water. I cranked it a little hard. It was my mistake as a driver. Got on the wheel a little bit hard and dug the right sponson in, but, you know, like they say, flesh wound, that's nothing. These guys jumped on top of that and fixed it. Back to the color scheme. Hope everybody likes it. I think it's pretty jazzy. I've got a lot of comments. It's all Larry Oberto put that together. He's a genius. He really is the guy. He pushes us. He asks for perfection, and we're doing everything we can to give him that perfection. So we got him a heat win. Getting ready to go into the final. That's going to step up our crew, step up our game. We're excited. Glad to be here, and stop by, get some beef jerky. Go on Twitter. I want everybody to go on Twitter if they will, please. And let's go to Oberto Beef Jerky and tell them happy 100th anniversary and how happy and thankful we are to have them part of hydroplane racing.
Absolutely. Great words. Just looking toward that final, what's sort of going through your head? Any adjustments you want to make to the boat? Any preference to how you want to make that start?
Well, I'd like to keep starting like I have been starting. I don't know how I got so lucky, but I've made 3 good starts in a row. So the game plan's just going to be stay clean, try to stay out of harm's way. Obviously, everybody's going to go up early. It's going to be basically don't bring a knife to a gunfight, I guess. It could be the most exciting final you see in a while. as you can see, you're going to have a whole bunch of boats that are clumped up in the right speed. I think the 11 just beat the 9. Who would have bet on that? I mean, Vegas has probably got odds right now, but you know, here comes our boat. I hope everybody's happy that Oberto got a win here at Seafair. I know I personally am. To me, that's like everybody smiling and taking pictures and wishing me good luck. Thank you for your support. Just got a win, and we're very happy for the Oberto team.
Great fans and great driving, Cal. Thank you so much for your participation here, the whole team. I know it is definitely a team effort and a family effort. So congratulations on this win, and as you head to the final, be safe and go fast.
That's what we plan on doing. If we win this thing, come down, get some slushies and some jerky. We'll be partying down here.
Sounds like a good diet to me. Take care, and we'll hopefully be talking to you after the next race here, the final. I'm going to go ahead and kick it back to you there, Gary, and let you decide where we're headed.
All right. Thank you very much, Eric. I love the enthusiasm of Cal Phipps. And, boy, that's the way to talk about your sponsor, too. You could genuinely tell he is really happy to be driving for Art Oberto and the Oberto Sausage Company. Man, what a great race. What a great guy. And I love what he said about the boat a couple of different times. He's got that Art Oberto $2 bill as his lucky charm. And the big hole punched in the sponsor, that's just a flesh wound, he says. I really like that. Hey, Heat 3B, another great heat of racing. That means we're all set for the final coming up around 5:30 if they stay on time. And we got it all for you here on KIXI AM 880. Let me give them the unofficial point totals before we throw it back to some hits between the heats and more summertime music and maybe another Seafair flashback, because I know I got another one saved up for you from Steve Montgomery back at the station. But our top point getter so far is Jimmy Shane in the home street with 1,300. Andrew Tate in the Les Schwab has 1,180. They're both easily in. In the 800 point area, 950. Brian Perkins with that second place gets him third place points so far, 950. Cal Phipps, the Oberto, 834. The Miss Rock, Aaron Salmon out there with a third place gets him to 780 points. And then we drop down to 689 from Tom Thompson in the J&D Hydraulics. And then Graham Trucking has got 529 points. The Snoosh Katoosh Bucket List Racing 414. So the bucket list is out of the final, and it looks like Graham Trucking will make the final, but as the trailer. So he's going to have to be a rooster tail back and on the far outside position. So our final coming up, our Seafair 2018 Seafair Appliance Cup from Albert Lee. Man, it's going to be great. It's coming up about 5:30. And so make sure you stick with us here on Kixie for that. Kixie online, KIXI.com. Some people are listening on 106.9 FM HD2. It's crystal clear to listen that way. Or on the Kixie app for your smartphone, you can listen to us that way too. So we've had a great day. We're going to continue in about 45 minutes or so. That final is scheduled. And we're going to throw it back to the station for a few sponsors like Beacon Plumbing, who have been so gracious to us this weekend. And we will also, I think there's time for another Seafair flashback and some great summertime music from the Kixie Library. So we will be back with more live coverage from Lake Washington of the 2018 Albert Lee Appliance Seafair Cup on AM 880 KIXI.